What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with Dylan for our NFC South X Factor. We've been breaking down every single X Factor for every single division. And the X Factor is the player, coach, even team, side of the ball that we think could change the entire landscape of the division, have the biggest impact, and be the biggest difference maker for the division. So for Dylan, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. But the NFC South is a division that, again, the NFC is absolutely loaded. Last year, this division, 1, 2, 3 playoff teams last year. You have the division winner last year, New Orleans Saints. You have the Cam Newton Panthers, and you have Matt Ryan's Atlanta Falcons. And then there's also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in there as well, who a lot of people thought was going to be a big dark horse last year. And people think that maybe they could do it this year. Maybe they're a year early. I don't know. So it's NFC South is an interesting division. But also the thing about this division that's different from others is there's at least certainty at the quarterback position, making the quarterbacks not really an X factor because we know what we're going to get. So, Dylan, what do you think about the NFC South?
Yes, for all those people, there is no quarterback being taken on this one. I've hit a lot of them in this, but I decided to go not necessarily adopt what Mitch did with the Chicago Bears team, but I'm going to cut it in half. I'm picking the whole New Orleans Saints defense, not just the whole team because it's not fair. I'm going to go with their defense, okay? We saw what this division gave us last year. It was actually some pretty good football. I know the Saints,
really good football.
I know the Saints beat the shit out of the Panthers 3 times, but it was still a really, really good division.
Not in the playoffs.
I'm just saying 3 times.
That was a close game.
It was 3-0. Well, I'm
Falcons, Saints, those were great games.
Those were great games. Came down to the wire. It was a lot of competitive football. NFL themselves has ranked it the #1 division coming into next season, according to one of the writers.
I would agree.
It's got to be up there for sure. I would probably say #1 as well. But there's a lot of good things to like about this division. And the reason I'm going to go with the Saints defense is because they got a lot better last year. We saw what they were capable of. Cam Jordan, who was the selection for this before I adopted it to the whole defense of the Saints, had a really, really standout season. I think he had 13.5 sacks last year.
That's correct.
He was putting pressure on the quarterbacks, especially in his own division, was killing it. I really liked what I saw to Cam Jordan last season. Marshawn Lattimore, obviously the #1 or the first-round selection for them last season, went off, got Defensive Rookie of the Year. Really like what I saw out of him. But there's some questions here. It's not exactly the best defense in the world. There's guys that are gone. Vaccaro is gone. So other guys are going to have to step up and make some big plays. Some second and third round talent that I actually like. Marcus Williams is on there. Guys like Sheldon Rankins, I think, is going to be solid. So this defense in particular is going to have to make the plays because we know what the offense can bring. We know what Drew Brees is going to bring. We know how great Alvin Kamara is. I know Mark Ingram's not going to be there for 4 games, but they still have a really good running back there. The receivers are solid. The offense is going to be fine no matter what. You want to see the defense have stability because before last season, what was the thing that we always made fun of the Saints for? They have no freaking defense.
They couldn't stop a nosebleed, Dylan.
It was one of the worst, probably 3-season runs of a defense I've ever seen. Up there with the same 3 seasons for the Dallas Cowboys defense. So it was really bad to see the Saints.
Or the Browns.
Or the Browns, yes.
But the Browns don't count.
Well, I mean, they won 4 games, I think is the most in the last 3 seasons. Congratulations. So, we've seen that. They had 3 straight 7-9 seasons with a quarterback that's freaking amazing and an all-time Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? So there was no stability on the other side of the football to help that offense. And this last season, we saw that they could do something to give that team a little bit of a boost. 11-5, I'll take it. Defense, I think, is going to have another good season, and they're a big X factor in this division. I know somebody's going to be like, oh, you can pick Ronald Jones, but I'm not going to do that. I picked the defense.
I'm shocked you didn't go with Ronald Jones. But I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not Ronald Jones, not Jameis Winston, not Mike Evans, not Deshaun Jackson, not their offense. Dylan kind of stole a page out of my playbook. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What, Dylan?
Defense.
Defense, because they're the team that is most uncertain. You know what was weird? I was deciding between two things that probably nobody was thinking about. Okay, I was deciding between the Tampa Bay defense and the Panthers offensive line.
Ooh,
so those were the two ones I was thinking about, because the Panthers offensive line lost Andrew Norwell, and I feel like if they can protect Cam, they can be a good team. If they can't, then they're probably not going to be a good team. So there's a lot of questions with, I think the Panthers could be, the Saints, I have a lot of faith that they'll be a very good team this year. Falcons, I feel like they have too much talent not to be good. So those two teams weren't really in my mind. So it was between the Panthers and the Bucs, because I feel like if the Bucs defense can put it together and get to that next stage, that next level, then this team could potentially shock some people. So I feel like their offense, although, Jameis didn't have a great season last year, I feel like their offense was sort of actually kind of under the radar in terms of how productive they were last year, because Jameis did get hurt a couple of games and people didn't really notice how good they were when he actually played. So that being said, I think their offense will be quality. It will be pretty decent, probably in the top half of the league. But then when you look at the defense, their defense was horrendous last year. Like, they didn't have a pass rush. They were last in sacks. Their pass defense was not very good. Their run defense wasn't great either. So they made a lot of improvements to their defense, in particular in their front seven, which I think is where I'm really aiming at. So they brought in Jason Pierre-Paul from the Giants, which I think will definitely help in the pass rushing game. Run stuffing, not really his forte, but pass rushing he can definitely still do. Jarrell McCoy is, of course, a stud. They got Vita Vea in the draft, who is an all-around defensive tackle and will add to the interior defense with Jarrell McCoy and help stop the run. Vinny Curry is a great run stopper from Philly. They have Noah Spence backing him up. They also got Bo Allen, William Golston. So they have a very deep defensive line all of a sudden. So this is what I really liked about what the Bucs did in the offseason. They made a really big weakness a strength on their team. So I like what they did there. And then you look at their linebacking core, which we already know is a good linebacking core. Levante David, Quan Alexander, two very good players. The question about that, and I actually like Kendall Beckwith. He's not bad either. He was a rookie last year, played a lot of time with some injuries on their linebacking core, and that's my big concern about this defense. If their linebackers can stay healthy, I think they'll be a good unit. If they can't, then their depth isn't fantastic. Their secondary is still a question mark, but I feel like Brent Grimes, he's still a pretty good corner. Carlton Davis, I was a big fan of in the draft. Vernon Hargreaves is fine. It's a question in their secondary, but that's why they're my X factor, because if their defensive line can turn around, their front seven is good, then it doesn't really matter how good their secondary is. And if their defense can live up to some of their players, individual players, then they could be a team that could shock a lot of people and could be competitive in this division all the way to the end of the season and have enough talent to get a playoff spot. I really believe if their defense can be good. Now, I'm not going to pick them probably to get to the playoffs, but I feel like they do have the talent, and that's why they're the big X factor, because they have the biggest unknown quality to them and the biggest ability to change the landscape of the division with a good quality play on their defense. So that's what I think about the Bucs defense. That's why they're my X factor, Dylan. I know you had a question about that.
I did. I was like,
because I feel like, while the Falcons, we know they're good. The Saints, they're great, and the Panthers, they have Cam, so they'll be fine. But like with the Bucs,
you never know. It's the uncertainty.
You don't know about the Bucs.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying you. I just didn't know. I was curious. I was wanting to know the explanation.
Yeah, so that's my explanation. I want to hear your guys' explanation in the comments below. Who do you think's the X factor? Is it someone on the Panthers? Do you agree that it's the Bucs defense? Do you think it's Jameis Winston? Is it who did you say, the Saints defense? Is it Cameron Jordan? Is it Drew Brees? I don't know.
No,
who is it?
This time around.
Is it the Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator, Steve Sarkisian?
Right.
That could be a good one.
I like that one.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you did enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. We'll see you in the next video, which will be the last video for this series, the NFC West. If you guys haven't checked out the rest of the videos too, check out the playlist. Go search for one of your favorite teams and go look at it. All right. See you guys next video. From Mitch and Dylan. Peace out.